So some of you guys are interested in how I made this right here. To be quite honest with you, it only takes about 30 minutes once you know how to, just I think what takes up the most time is just using the paint and the airbrush. But you don't have to use an airbrush. You can use a regular spray can. So basically, all it is having Lightburn open. And let's say I wanted to make a Mario cake topper for my grandson. Okay, so basically, you just go to the internet and you pick up Mario. Now, of course, you can't be selling this stuff, but what they say. And you go to images, and what you want is a line drawing. Now, I can take a color drawing, turn it into a line drawing, but the easiest way, come up here to tools, come over here to images, or I'm sorry, to type, go down to line drawing, and pick out a Mario that you want to. So I'm going to, and it's best to use large ones. You can pull that out of tools also. So I hit copy image, and I want you to note how long this takes. So now I come back to Lightburn, right mouse click, I paste it in, and there's Mario. Right mouse click again after clicking on it, hit trace image, hit OK, and you're almost done. That's it. Now the thing is, you want to make the cake topper part. So basically, the plexiglass that I buy has masking tape already on it. So each one of these lines represents a color that I'm going to paint. So if his hand's going to be white, after I score it, I'll just peel off that masking and paint it white. So watch how I do this. I want to make the cake topper or a light. I make a lot of these lights that are LED lights. One thing I want to do is just make this a blue color just to differentiate a little bit. Now come over here, click this little outline tool, and notice what it did. It created an outline around Mario. I'm going to hit OK, and I want to make that outline red because that's the one I'm going to cut the plexiglass with. Okay, so I'm going to change it to red, and then I'm going to arrow it over 2 times. 1, 2, and all that junk in the middle I want gone. So just ungroup it, right mouse click, ungroup, or Control G. Click on this, move it back over 2 times. Now you can delete all this junk. Just highlight it and delete. Now, if I wanted Mario to be a cake topper, I would just create some type of holder. So I'm going to come down here, and this is how I create my lights. That would be the slot that goes into the little LED light shaft. And I know the size that I create that with. It's like 80 millimeters, whatever the case is. Now I want to connect these two. So this, I want to connect to this. So I want to click on my arrow right here. And I want to click on this. And I want to change it to Node Editor. It's important you know how to use this tool. This is the most important tool on Lightburn. I just simply come in here and highlight those. And instead of hitting the delete key, you hit the D key, and it deletes those nodes. Now I can manipulate this and pull this right down in there. Now what I should have done from the beginning is you highlight all of that, group it, and I'm going to just show you how to do that right now. So click off this. We want to highlight just all of Mario in the outline, Control G. And I want to make sure my light and my cake base and or my light insert is centered. So just come up here, here's your center button. That will put that square in the middle, or you can use this one here. And so that'll align things vertically. You see how everything moved over, except for the Mario. Something happened. Control Z, Control Z. Oh, it worked out fine. I forgot it's got this part right here because I manipulated those nodes. Now I'm going to ungroup it. Click on this node right here and click here. I'm going to pull this right down into this. It doesn't matter where it goes. I'm just going to get close. I'm going to click back onto the arrow. And I'm going to Control. And I got both of them selected, and I'm going to weld them together. Now what I can do is I can come in here, hit my node editor again. And the 2 important nodes I do not want to get rid of is this one and this one. So now I can just come in here, hit delete or D key. Don't forget D key, D. And then I could reshape this if I like, just by pulling it or doing whatever. And then same thing over here. Now keep in mind, I could have already had this done and already painted, if you want to know the truth, most of it. So now it's ready to go to laser. Okay, so I've got a light ready to go and or I've got a cake topper ready to go. Now, when I laser mine on my 80-watt laser, the red line I want to cut out, okay? So the red line right here, I want to cut completely out, which is this one. So I'm going to change it to a line. And I want the speed on my laser to be somewhere between 20 and 10. So I'm going to go ahead and choose 15. And the max power, I always set my cut power to 31 on my machine, even if it's what do you call it, plywood. And when you're cutting, you want these two numbers to always be the same. Hit OK. Now this one in here, this blue one, I want it to be a line also, but I don't want it to cut all the way through. So the speed I just want to score the masking. So the speed I want this to be is, I don't know, 275. And I don't want it to cut through at all. So I'm going to change the power to 10. And I'm going to change the min power to 9. Or leave it at 10, it doesn't matter. But what happens is that min power, when it comes to a corner, it'll put a pinhole through if you're not careful. But most of the time you don't see those. Hit OK. All right, it's ready to run. So you set it in the laser, you run it, and then what you do is you peel off just the hand and you paint it white. The eye, paint it white. The other hand, paint it white. So you just peel off the colors, all the colors you want, and then you paint them. But you paint them on the reverse side. So everything is on reverse. So if you want this to look exactly like it does here, of course, you would have to do a reverse image of it. And you just simply come up here and flip it or whatever the case is. But that's how you do it. And, I'll show you how I actually paint it and everything. But you don't need an airbrush. You can just do it this way right here. But since we're in here, let me just show you a few other things. I'm going to go ahead and delete this off the whole thing. And then you have these people that like the American flag, United States outline. I'm going to show you how to make this yourself. So let's just get a U.S. flag. Find a pretty cool one. So let's go with this one here. Right mouse click, copy image, come back to Lightburn, right mouse click, paste the image. So that's a nice big piece of art right there. And that's what you want for really good detail. So you can move that around, get it the way you want, whatever. But I'm going to bring this down in shape, something like that right there. Now I want to make it the outline of the United States. So you just come up here and type in US outline. And we'll go with this one. Right mouse click, copy image. Come back over here to Lightburn. Right mouse click. Let me click off that. Right mouse click, paste image. All right, so I want to trace that. So right mouse click, trace image. That looks good. We'll pull that off there and delete this one. Now I'm going to zoom in. You notice it's got a double line here. So I'm going to ungroup it and I'm going to delete one of those two lines. So I'm going to delete the inner one on each piece here. So down here in Alaska, I'm going to take that one off too. Delete. And we'll go through the islands real fast. We'll just pretend they're all done. Matter of fact, we'll just get rid of these islands right here. So right mouse click, ungroup. We'll just highlight those islands right there and delete them. ungroup it again. I didn't have it ungrouped completely. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to regroup this. Control G. We're going to pick it up here onto our image like this. This is one of the coolest things you can do in Lightburn. Now right mouse click. So let me show you one more time. Highlight both of them. And then you right mouse click. And you see where it says apply mask to image. You hit apply mask. And now you have your image in the shape of the United States. Now right mouse click again and flatten image. And that just brings it in a little tighter. Now you can manipulate what your image looks like. You can come in here, adjust the image. And this is what I do. This is how I change color photos into line photos. Or also, this is what I use to manipulate pictures that I actually print on wood and things. So I come over here and just mess around with some of these controls like this. And one of the most important ones, a gamma control. You can see what happens when I move it this way, move it back, and the contrast. So start moving contrast this way. And let's just say I'm finished with that now. We'll pull this off over here, hit OK. All right, so there we have the United States ready to go. Now, can I trace that and turn it into a line drawing? Absolutely. Trace image, and then look at that. It's picking up some of it it's not. So let's hit fade image. That way we can see what's going on. I mean, you notice how it's not picking up Florida down here. So you can manipulate this around until it picks up the different images. And if it doesn't, you can come here and hit sketch trace like this. And then start coming down this way. And it should pick it up like that. And now basically you have a line drawing. You could keep bringing it down this way like until you get to where you want it. But you don't necessarily need to do that. You can go ahead and hit OK. Pull this off. Delete it. Get rid of any double lines that you have. Right mouse click. Ungroup. Get rid of your outline border here. Control Z. Now the problem with that is you notice that when I did that, it deleted a lot of my fields here. So that's easy to fix too. You can come up here and hit your node editor. Just click on this outside portion. And if you click between nodes, you can hit delete and it will delete the line. I'm sorry, hit D and it just deletes the line like that. So when I click this one, it should take that whole line out across the top there like that. Same thing inside of here. You can take your stars and get rid of the double lines. Let's get rid of a few more here. And again, you can go back to your arrow if you want to get rid of a lot of things at one time. Just click right here, delete. So remember, in Node Editor, you're using a D key, and when you're using the regular arrow up here, cursor, you're selecting the delete key. So one's D key, the other's delete key. So again, you just come up here and delete your extra stars or whatever you got. Now let's say I'm wanting to paint this and I got this gap right here. Well, I can simply come in here, just delete this piece off. I don't want it. I can grab my line tool right here. Since it's just going to mask, I can draw a line from here to here, left click, right click. I'm done with that. So it's going to score that line right there. Now, I want to manipulate what that line looks like. I want to give it a wave. So I pull on it. Now, I'm going to hit I for insert node. So I'm going to click right here, hit I. And now I can actually manipulate it even more. And that will complete the line I need to actually mask off the color that I'm going to cut out. I hope that helped you out a little bit. I don't edit videos to make it more professional. I just get to the point. So, and then I will actually show you how I do it on the laser. Have a good day.